can see that there's lots of child-sized furniture. Basically everything is child-sized. The sinks they can reach. There's a gate to keep them from going outside. There is also 3 adult-sized chairs, and they usually just stack these in the corner, and those are really the only adult-sized furniture in this room. I'm going to take you first over to the sink, and they have their hygiene stuff, and they brush their teeth during the day and in the mornings. And then there's like pictures on the wall where they can see them, and step stools so that they can access. So they rated pretty high on where it asks about like hygiene stations, because they're really good about washing their hands. If a child even sneezes, they are told to go wash their hands. They wash their hands when they go in the classroom, after snack, before they do anything, after they've been outside, after they go to the bathroom, before and after they eat, and the adults are always washing their hands too. Here they have a sensory table, and there's also pictures of animals. They have a lot of pictures at eye level throughout the room, just like real ones and like pretend ones. But yes, at the sensory table they have, I don't think there's anything in here right now, but they're able to, there's some pine cones and outdoor stuff, and they're able to explore that and change that out. They hang up their art throughout the room, so there's different art, and then there's cleaning supplies. They rated high on that, and they rated high on like displaying artwork and different artifacts throughout the room. There's also one thing in the protocol where it asks about displaying like real and like natural objects, as well as like imaginary objects, and they do both, so they rated high on that. They have these pretend leaves up here, and they also have these like actual leaves right here, and like this is an actual tree. They have, this is their like comfort station. They're able to crawl in here. It's really safe and accessible, and there's tons of plush toys. They had a lot of those. We counted them, and they're pretty diverse, through animals and people and different races. This is their birthdays hung on the wall, and that makes it personal, and a lot of the pictures are at eye level, are of the different people's families and different teachers. And this is just like, and I love that because it's like catering to their like socio-emotional and making connections between, oh, this is Brenda's mom or something like that. Over here they have their like art center. There's a whiteboard, and on one side, a whiteboard on this side, but they can also clip paper, and they usually have some paper up. There's also little scraps down here, and this is just accessible throughout the day. They usually have markers out, and it's the end of the day, so they put them up already, but there's bins with different markers, and they're labeled. They rated high on this because they're able to access it like throughout the day, and that's super awesome. Over here we have child-sized furniture that is really good for like sitting and reading, and super adorable. But here's their books, and they have switched them out, so they are very diverse in the things they have. Right now they have some like fall stuff, because it is Thanksgiving next week, and they also have books with like real pictures in them, and also pretend. They're very diverse. This one is all about like diversity and whoever we are and how we all feel things. They rated really high on this because they have a lot of options, and they are accessible to them throughout the day. And they're so diverse. There's animals, there's people, there's numbers, there's letters. Super awesome, and they're all in pretty good shape. Over here they have some like supplies that are smaller, so they're for like fine motor skills. they're like labeled, and there's different objects in each. So here we have some magnetic shapes, magnetic rods. This is really awesome because it works with their fine motor skills, and they're able to see what they need before they grab it. So they rated high on that. They honestly rated pretty high on everything because like when I was doing the protocol, I was like, wow, it's like they read this through and were like, all right, let's do this. And they've done that. They have some natural plants in here, which I think is super awesome. One thing that I did rate them pretty low on during the protocol was that I said that the room was really crowded. And since then, they have rearranged and it is so much less crowded. I'm pretty sure when I did it, these 3 like kid-sized tables were like lined up, so they were taking up a big section of the room, but by them like kind of dispersing them, there is room for like open play. And I think that's really awesome. Over here you see that they have more pictures. There's tons of visuals throughout the room at eye level. They have a computer and they watch videos on the day, and when they're not, they cover it up. They will sing songs. This goes with like, these are nature items, and they switch them out for whatever season it is. So right now it's fall, and they have pumpkins. Lots of magnet tiles that they build with a lot. And just different objects that they are able to grab and play with throughout the day. This has little like nature like animals. They have a lot of different materials that they're able to work with, and they love to build. Love that. They often do that on this table. Over here we have their cubbies where they can put all their stuff. It's not accessible to them throughout the day, but very accessible to the parents and the teachers. They have places where they prepare their food. They have microwaves, and they also have a sink. This is like where the adults are. There's no child-sized stuff for them to reach. Sometimes there's a stool for when they come in the classroom. And then here they have dishwasher. In here they have different supplies. This is mostly like the teachers, but they also have the plates that they store on, and they wash this stuff every night. And here they store different items throughout the day, and they have a list of like allergies. It's just like super clear of what they need. Here they have little shirts they put on when they eat, and keeps the mess off of them. Okay, so I'm going to take you into, these are like the stools they use when they eat lunch and breakfast sometimes. Over here in the dramatic play area, they have dolls. It's kind of a mess right now, but they have like a doll, like baby changing station, and they have lots of diverse dolls and different ones. There's some over here. There's different races and sizes, and I think that's super awesome that they're being culturally diverse and aware. There's also more over there on top of that. They have a child size. This is like a kitchen simulation kind of thing, so they can practice like household manners and stuff. So they have the kitchen and the sink, and the dishes are in here, different food, and they do that all the time. This little slide area is really safe. The slide is not at too big of a tilt, so it's very safe for them to go down, and they do that often. The teachers really encourage them to play on it, and that helps with gross motor skills. Over here they have different blocks. They have the color blocks and the brown blocks, and they build over here. And they also have things that they can play with the blocks, like animals. This has different service people and just different people in general, and I love these. They're very diverse. There's cars and tracks and all kinds of stuff. There's balls that they can play with. Okay. And just throughout the room on the shelves that are child size, they have different manipulatives they can play with throughout the day that they have access to. they never like force kids into a area when they're watching the computer screen. They don't like force them. If they're interested in something else, they let them play with that, which I think is awesome. In the bathroom, they have a changing station with all the sanitary items they need below, and then they also have a child-sized toilet, and they rate really high on like self-care and hygiene, and they make sure that they wash their hands consistently throughout the day. All in all, there is the office where the adults can store their things so that the kids don't have access to. But all in all, the room is like almost perfect, besides the one thing that I did rate them low on was the crowdedness in it. Like, I came in today and I was like, it's changed so much since I did the protocol, and so they did rearrange, and so that I think it helps it improve a lot. And so I would rate them high on that now, because they have room to play freely and it's not as crowded feeling when you walk in. But they have tons of child-sized furniture, a diverse assortment of toys that they can play with. One thing that I think they could improve on a little bit is like encouraging them to do the art more often. But it is accessible, so if they want to, they can. I just think that would be something that would be helpful. They do have like cabinets and reminders to wash your hands. Super good about hygiene. They don't want them to get sick. Lots of child-sized furniture. The dramatic play has lots of diverse things and rich, and they also have bins of, I will show you, they have bins full of like clothes they can dress up in, and underneath the sign, so making use of the space they have those dramatic play clothes and different, like, they have phones and cameras under here. Lots of pictures at eye level of like people with different abilities and people doing different things from different places, and I love that. They have this radio, and they were playing music on it earlier, so they're using the technology. They rated high on that because they're not just sitting in front of a screen all day, but they are making use of that, because that is what happens in this world. Overall, they just did really well. Some areas for improvement were the crowdedness, and they fixed that, and the CDL does a really good job of keeping them in check and making sure they have the things that the kids need to do the best. And I just love the diversity in the classroom that they encourage, and I love the rich conversations that they have within their classroom. They rated really high on communicating with the kids, because they ask them questions and they don't just sit there and watch them play. They engage them in conversation, whether they can like communicate fully their feelings or not. They're still